You had your chance and then you blew it.
That is the most absurd statement of the year.
Nice. Nice.
Oh, baby.
I'm in my zone, I'm feeling it.
Live from Rock Solid Studios in Granite Falls, it's time for MInneZona Sports, live with DJ Matty C and Paul the Shield Vold.
And this is MInneZona Sports Live. We are back for another fun-filled show here on Facebook Live. And without further ado, I'm your host, DJ Matty C, a.k.a. Matt Callahan, a.k.a. Callie, a.k.a. Matty C, etc., etc., etc. And all the way from Woods and Shores Studios in Aiken, Minnesota, Paul Volt, the Shield. What's going on, Shield?
I'm just happy for the fact that tomorrow is Thanksgiving. I still got to work, but looking forward to a fantastic meal that me and the missus are going to be cooking up for Thanksgiving. Looking forward to another great show as always, too.
I'm just glad that we were able to get the show tonight. I know the Zoners have been clamoring for it, and we're going to give it to you, okay? Because, you know, I know it's Thanksgiving tomorrow, but you know, we have a segment that's kind of, I mean, Tater Tot Hot Take. I don't know if people like would want to check that out with the, some Tater Tot hot dish for Thanksgiving. I mean, that's an idea. I don't know.
It's an idea.
And Mikey's like, "Whoa, are those Zona sweatshirts?" Yes, they are. They are. Check these out, man. And then Jimbo chiming in here as well. You can thank Jimbo for that. So props go out to Jimbo, our unofficial, official sponsor. We love it. Claps all around. And the Kerf Doctor was wearing his today as well. So we got a lot of people that are loving this sweatshirt. So I don't know. We'll have to see where this goes. But they are fantastic. We love them. And we got to get rolling because you can enjoy these sweatshirts while we're going here. So, anyway, Voldy, let's start things off with a little tater tot. Whoa, hot take.
Fresh out of the oven, it's Tater Tot Hot Take.
They're loving the. I think people want these sweatshirts. I'm just saying.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm just thinking about it right now. But hey, we're figuring out the details on them, but they look fantastic. These are the prototypes, and the prototypes look sweet. So anyway, moving on, people, to Tater Tot Hot Take. The Vikings. People, the Vikings, their winning streak is over after 3 games, losing to the Dallas Cowboys. 31-28, and Voldy, I know we thought this game was going to be, perfect for the Vikings, and they were going to, just roll over, Dallas and everything, but Dallas came to play, and they played hard, and they, got a very deserved win. So, Voldy, what are your thoughts on the game? What do you think?
It just seemed that Dallas had an answer for everything the Vikings put out, especially in the second half. Vikings got on a roll. Dallas got on a roll as well, just trading points in the second half overall. And I said it too last week when we were talking about this. We can't let Dallas come in and play the role of the Vikings against Green Bay, because that's how exactly it ended up being. The Vikings were Green Bay. They were overthinking. They were just going to go out there and just thought they were going to kick the crap out of Dallas. Dallas came in and said, we got nothing to lose. Let's see what happens. And they did it. They came out with a win as well. And unfortunately, it didn't work out to the Vikes' advantage in that fact because of the fact that Adam Thielen was going. Justin Jefferson was going. Except for those early turnovers, Kirk Cousins was going as well. Dalvin had a nice game as well. Maybe not the big gaudy numbers that we're used to seeing, but, he performed to the level that the Vikings needed him to go at. And unfortunately, it just didn't work to the Vikings' way. Those turnovers were big, especially the fact that it came down to that, to that one possession all the way to the very end, and unfortunately, again, it's another loss. Instead of being at 5-5, the Vikings are now 4-6, and it sucks.
It does suck, and this was a game I felt like that they technically they had to win out no matter what, okay? And a lot of the zoners have been saying here, too, is the Vikings made too many mistakes. EZA's been saying that. Mike Watermelon McCarthy strikes again. Yeah, that's pretty good, Matt. Yeah, I heard about that story with McCarthy trying to get him pumped up and everything.
He wants the Gallagher.
Right. And Jimbo saying right here, too, defense dropped the ball and didn't do their job. Exactly. Yep. And that's what I was going to allude to, because I saw a lot of people on the socials medias talking about how the reason why we lost this game was because of Kirk Cousins. Stop with that nonsense right now. I'm not kidding, because it was not Kirk's fault that they lost this game. It was the defense, okay? The defense was leaky. There were a lot of penalties that happened, and you could tell that Dallas was ready to play because they came in and they nailed, Dalvin Cook. They nailed Kirk Cousins. I mean, they came ready to go. And the offense finally got going with Thielen and Jefferson. But, Jefferson, man, I tell you what, that guy is something else. I love it.
It will be a crime if he doesn't win Offensive Rookie of the Year.
It will be. I'm dead serious.
It'll be a ginormous crime.
Yeah, ginormous crime. I want to hit at that slam. And then McCarthy just knows the Vikings all too well. It's true. I mean, he does. He has a winning record against the Vikings, but
he's got like the most wins all time against one team. I think it was
crazy.
He's got like 16 wins against the Vikings.
He's 16-9-1 or whatever. Yeah, because they had that tie. One man can't lose the whole game. Yeah. And I've been saying that for so long, and people just want to ignore that fact because Kirk Cousins is excuse me, 1-9 on Monday Night Football, and then all the primetime stuff. It's like people keep forgetting that football is a team game here too, okay?
It is.
And you can't sit there and say, well, it's Kirk Cousins' fault that they lost. It wasn't Kirk Cousins' fault. It was the defense that didn't get the job done. And Jimbo said it. I'm saying it. And there are a lot of young guys on this defense. And when you have Cam Dantzler, Jeff Gladney, and Chris Jones, who I'm very pissed off at after that 42-yard touchdown that Tony Pollard had, where he's going to just touch him. Here, touch. Tackle him! Go out and get after his legs or something.
Not a bad read on the play.
Yeah, bad read on the play. As much as I hope Jefferson wins Rookie of the Year, Herbert probably has the inside track. And that's possible, too. And
I think that's the problem.
That might be the problem, and Jimbo's not wrong on that, because Herbert has been fantastic. And from a fantasy football standpoint, he's been really good, too. I mean, you can ask any owner that has him. And Easy A saying, who else is going to tackle him with the Pollard thing? And that's the issue. And I listened to Zim's press conference, and he was saying, they said, hey, Zim, did you talk to Chris Jones? And he goes, yep, I talked to him about it. And then he didn't say anything else, because what else is there to say? But anyway, getting back to more of the zoners chiming in here. My hatred for Dallas goes back to Staubach and the immaculate reception. So the details don't matter. Beating Dallas is a must. Yeah, it was. It was a must either. I mean, from here on out, I knew that they have to win every single game, even with Dallas. And Dallas came in ready to play. And Dalton played well. And I have to give him some credit. He missed some throws, too. So the Vikings, Vikings know what the deal is here. All right, so Mama Callahan / Papa Callahan, the defensive line put very little pressure on Dalton, which put more pressure on the defensive backs. This was a huge factor. Andre needs to really work with his linemen. That's true. And you didn't really see a pass rush. I mean, Wanham is still young. He's still trying to work things out. We're missing Daniil. We're missing Daniil big time. And Daniil has been the guy to, get after the quarterback. And, not having Everson either, it hurts too. He ripped him a new one. Yes, he did, Easy A. Mama knows what she is talking about. Yes, she does. That's true. Now remember, we all have to remember that Mama Callahan started Table Topics too. So
she did.
We got to give her credit for that. The truth is no longer relevant to some people. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is that there's too many people, I think. And then Boyd's costly penalty killed any momentum they had. And not only, he had two of them on the, back to back. He had back to back. And that is so frustrating from that standpoint when you do something as stupid as that. And It was a missed opportunity. And that's where I'm going to, leave it at. So, they lost, and okay, well, now you got to win out because that's the only way that I feel like they're going to even come close to the playoffs because, I understand with the defense and everything, but you got Carolina coming up too. So, and with that, Carolina has this guy. I believe his name is
Teddy B.
Dip them dots. Teddy B is back in town. Voldy. What are your thoughts? Do you think Teddy's going to have a big game here against the Vikings coming up on Sunday?
I mean, if he's going to be healthy, maybe. It all depends. I mean, P.J. Walker wasn't too bad this past Sunday for Carolina. I think this is going to be a lot tougher matchup than people thought maybe at the beginning of the year because, things starting to turn around a little bit for Carolina. They're starting to, hold their own weight a little bit. It's going to be tough to see. If Teddy's back there at quarterback, I think it's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Defense is going to have their hands full. Robbie Anderson down there making plays for Carolina now that he's in a system and has a quarterback that can actually throw the ball to him. He's been a playmaker, especially, unfortunately, a few lost years when he was with the Jets. But it's going to be tough to see. I don't know if the Vikings can, keep pace, but I don't know. I'm cautiously not optimistic. How about that? We're taking the under on the over here.
Yeah, it seems like Teddy's going to play, and Seymour's been saying it right here too. And I really hope he does because I've always been a big fan of Teddy. Voldy, you know this, ever since the Sports Zone days too. And I know Teddy has done a great job with Carolina. He, and again, he's made some mistakes, but coming back from that gruesome injury, you got to look at how he's progressed in his career. And he did well with the ranks, but it is what it is. And you got to give Teddy some credit. And Zim even said, too, he talks to Teddy almost on the regular, ever since he left. They chat here and there. And there's a lot of mutual respect. And Vikings fans, I feel like, love Teddy. And I do. I'm a huge fan of Teddy. And, again, it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see how this happens. But Teddy could exploit, the young secondary. So it's going to be interesting to see. But one other thing I want to mention, too, is Metz has brought this up. The Vikings can be thankful that CMC won't play. And that, I feel like, could be if he was playing, I'd be a little concerned. Because Zeke had a pretty good game against the Vikings this past Sunday. So, again, I think, Zim knows that these are young guys. They made mistakes, but they got to get back to work, and we'll see what happens. And another thing, too, Adam Thielen, is he going to play? Is he not going to play?
I don't know.
And it sounds like he didn't contract COVID. The assumption is, and again, it's not confirmed, but he must have been in close contact with a person that tested positive with COVID. So Zim didn't know if he was going to play either. So if he keeps testing negative every day until Sunday, then he can play. Okay? And if Thielen's gone, that might affect a little bit, but you still got Jefferson. Guys got to step up, though. Olabisi Johnson. Voldy, you chimed on this not too long ago either. Tajay Sharp's been inactive, too. Where's he been? I don't see where he went.
This is the golden opportunity. If Thielen can't go, these guys got to step up. I think we had one Olabisi Johnson sighting going into what? Yeah. This is week 11 now, week 10. He had a catch last week, and that's the first time I think they've called his name all year and actually caught the ball. And it's crazy. Some of these guys got to step up if Thielen's a no-go.
Exactly. And Seymour's been saying here, Coach Zimmer is like Eric Cartman. in that South Park episode where he tries to teach kids to cheat in a terrible city school. How do I reach these kids? Oh, Seymour with the zingers. We love it. Who's going to be the returner? KJ Osborne. He better get going because I'm surprised that some of these guys still are, playing on special teams. If Thielen doesn't play, we're fine. Someone else will have to step up. Irv, BC, BB, Rudy. Yeah, BB too. I mean, there's been sightings, but there hasn't been much, so they're going to have to step up. And I agree with Jimbo. I mean, and then you got 33 in the backfield, so that's another guy.
That'll help.
And here's one. Bring back Marcus Sherrills. How about that?
Damn right. Bring him back.
Oh, I love it, Jimbo. Maybe, if there wasn't the trade deadline, if the trade deadline was like this week or something, trade for Cordero. Just a thought. No, just kidding. He'll be staying in Chicago, obviously.
Say that.
Yeah, but I don't know. Just another thing to look out for. So we're hoping the Vikings can get going here. And one more Viking-related thing. Vikings need to hit us hard on Sunday like they did against the Cowboys. Home field really has no advantage this year. Also, what about throwing the ball to Rudy and Irv? Hit the nail right on the head. From the outhouse to the penthouse, as Papa Callahan likes to say. So he's always dropping those. All right, another thing we got to bring up. The Gophers. They're not playing this week because of COVID. 2020, everything like that. The border battle is canceled against the Wisconsin Badgers. I was really looking forward to this, and honestly, the Gophers, we get it. They haven't had the best season, okay? And not only that, Rashad Bateman is now opting out because he knows, this isn't going anywhere as well. So, Voldy, what are your thoughts on the game being canceled?
113 straight years they have played the battle for Paul Bunyan's axe between the University of Minnesota and the University of Wisconsin.
Yeah.
This would have been the 130th meeting all time between the two schools, and it's gone. Just like
there
that.
You go.
It's unfortunate because of the fact, of course, we all thought maybe towards the beginning of the year it was going to be Wisconsin with their little COVID outbreak situation, but it's the Gophers. Yes, 9 players and 6 staff members, I believe, or some sort of combination of that, testing positive on Monday. They had to pause team activities yesterday and also today as well. They're hoping that they can get things cleaned up as well, especially the fact they had a bunch of players already out beforehand from previous tests from the week before. They just ran out of guys, I think, and, that situation as well. Don't want to be exposing people because, obviously, if one gets it, another 10 to 15 are going to get it. It's as easy as that, especially when you're in such close proximity all the time. It sucks.
It does.
I was really looking forward to this one. Were the Gophers going to do something? Maybe. Was it going to be good? I don't know. If this was going to be a year the Gophers beat Wisconsin for the Axe, might as well be under the weirdest circumstances of the weirdest year possible for the Gophers to bring back Paul Bunyan's Axe, especially with all the years that they come in with as big of hype as they have.
Right.
And then it just, all falls the wayside. They get beat by 35 points when they probably had their best team on the field. It just sucks overall. It just really wish that it could have happened this year. Why couldn't this have happened next weekend against Northwestern when we don't even care about playing Northwestern? We care about playing Wisconsin, and, that's the last trophy game that we could probably get out of this. It just sucks.
It sucks. And Hunt's brought this up too, and I'm with him on this. It was going to be an ugly game anyways, just like the Big Ten has been this year.
Yep.
Yeah, it's ugly. And I feel like the Gophers probably either would have gotten killed like they did against Iowa or something like that.
Time.
Because, and especially with, Seymour, like I mentioned, at the beginning here, speaking of gone, Rashad Bateman. Yep, he's gone too. And honestly, I haven't seen that too much of where in the middle of the season, but, with COVID and everything, it's kind of almost, I don't blame him in the least because the Gophers aren't really doing much. And I think at the beginning of the year, a lot of zoners said too that there are 8, new starters on defense, and it's shown. And, the offense hasn't been that great either. They have injuries on the offensive line. And, again, Ibrahim has been the workhorse and has been great. And, offensively, there's been some nice, plays made. But with COVID happening, it's unfortunate. It's really unfortunate. All right, it's unfortunate, but COVID is what it is. Exactly. You've seen the stats on how COVID is skyrocketing. Selective adherence to safety policies is a lot like having peeing section in a swimming pool. We just don't have a choice here. Exactly. You don't. You really don't. And Seymour says, oh, man, we're getting all these comments. I'm trying to keep up. That blow loss to Michigan looks worse and worse as the days go by.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Big time there.
Big time.
2 teams only for a chance at the playoffs. That's pretty sad. Luckily, it's not as bad as the Pac-12. Yeah, the Pac-12.
Very true.
Hunt's, he's right on that one. One thing that would, one good thing would be that the Badgers will be here next year. That is true. And, I feel like, when you're at home, and again, we'll have to see what happens with COVID and everything for next year, but hopefully our defense will be better then. It would have been a blowout this year. Yeah, it would have been cruel and unusual punishment for the maroon and gold fans. It really would have, and that would suck. Doesn't matter for Wisconsin because they're out of the playoffs with that loss last week against Northwestern, like we've been saying. So they, again, they still keep the axe, but again, maybe we can keep them out of the playoffs and whatnot. But
exactly.
Again, COVID, it sucks. I like Ethan was saying too. I mean, it sucks, but it is what it is, and we just got to deal with it. So, we'll see what happens from the Gophers in the upcoming weeks. But again, it's frustrating, but this is how it is now. So, hopefully the Gophs can get back on track next week. So, we'll see what happens there. All right, Voldy, I think we got to move on to some Infinity rankings. Week 12.
Yes,
I have not shown you the updated rankings yet. There's some there's some interesting ones on there, and if you agree with them, great. If you don't, then again, let me know. Who do you think should be in the Infinity rankings? Because we got the gauntlet, we're ready to go. So let's get to some Infinity rankings.
While many have power rankings, none have captured them all. It's time for Matty C's Infinity Rankings.
All right, so it's time for Infinity Rankings. Voldy, are you ready?
Let's go.
Let's go.
See what you got.
Let's go. All right, and this is my power Infinity Rankings, and here they are. So, starting off with number 6, okay? Seymour's going to love me for this, I think. I have the Tennessee Titans at number 6. Why do I have the Tennessee Titans at number 6? Well, they had a very impressive win over the... Oh, why did this pop up? Sorry, Seymour. Where is that? Got to get that out of there. Anyway, I'll find it. But it's nice team player, not total BS. Either you're all in, play the full season, or you're all... Jimbo's not liking the whole Bateman thing.
Nope.
Yeah, there you go. And then Seymour's saying, you bet, with the Titans. So the reason why I have the Titans up there, they had a very impressive win against the Ravens. And again, with the Harbaugh-Vrabel thing, that was so odd and weird and before the game and everything like that. But it is what it is. But I have the Titans because they had a rough go against the Colts, and now they play the Colts this upcoming week. So this is gut check time for the Tennessee Titans. Easy A says, I feel the Colts should be up there like 6 or 7, LOL. That's fine. And I did. And the thing is I thought about the Colts too. They did beat Green Bay. They're probably about I would probably say 7, but with 6 Infinity Stones, there's not 7 Infinity Stones. So there's that as well. So the Titans, I mean, the ground game has been great. The things that they've been able to do with Ryan Tannehill has been very impressive. They have done a great job at making him actually a pretty good quarterback. I don't know. He's been very good. So moving on to number 5 here, I have the Los Angeles Rams, okay? The Los Angeles Rams, I feel like, have earned this. Their defense, Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey, they've been great. And I look at this team with Goff and Robert Woods, Cooper Kupp. Their run game, I mean, it's running back by committee with Cam Akers, with Malcolm Brown and Darrell Henderson. But, I mean, McVay has adjusted. And I got to give them some credit. And they deserve to be up. They just beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They beat Tom Brady. And they beat Seattle. They've been, been really good. So, I mean, LA Rams, I'm telling you, watch out for them. Take the Colts at home. Titans have 0 pass rush, so Phillip Rivers will have a great day throwing the ball. Oh, he's not? He's, I don't know. The thing is, if you can get to Rivers, he'll get frustrated. But, yeah, that might be brought up. I got to ask Seymour this. Is Clowney back? I haven't seen any update with him lately, but... Also, do you know who Tannehill's coach was in Miami? That guy that is currently getting the Jets the number 1 pick at the moment. Yeah.
Yep.
And how did Tannehill do in Miami? Not very well, I gather, right? But anyway, if you're getting the first pick, you must be doing something right. But anyway, #tank for Trevor. All right, moving on to number 4, the Buffalo Bills. And Voldy, as you and I know, nobody circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills. Yes, we love it here on MInneZona Sports Live. But the Buffalo Bills, they deserve it, okay? And it's very hard for me because Diggs is on there. Clowney is in IR, sits out 2 more weeks at least. Thank you. I thought I saw something like that, but that's good to know. They're going to need him back soon. Josh Allen's been great. And now they just need a good run game. The Moss, I think Zach Moss, I believe, Devin Singletary, they're good. They're good players. They have to get going in the run game. Diggs has been a top 2 wide receiver, with the DeAndre Hopkins and everything like that. And I love me some Diggs. But the Bills have played very well. And then, the miracle against, the Hail, excuse me, I shouldn't say miracle, but like the Hail Mary against versus the Cardinals there, that's almost like 1 in a million. But this team is very good. They're well coached with McDermott. And also, Leslie Frazier's the defensive coordinator. Their defense is pretty good. Tre'Davious White has been good in the secondary. Micah Hyde's on that team. He was good for Green Bay. He's very good with the Bills now. So I got to give props out to Leslie Frazier, former Vikings coach. Josh Norman, who? Well, Josh Norman has been okay. But I'm glad the Packers are off this list for now, LOL. They're off this list.
Well, there goes a surprise. I was going to ream somebody about that. Dang it, Stuffage.
Stuffage got you first. He got you first. Josh Norman, who? Yeah, exactly. Norman Island. Where has that ever been? But, yeah, the Bills, I look at them as a very good team. The AFC's got some solid teams. So, moving on to number 3. I tell you what. Leslie Frazier over the years. The days of Joe Webb and Donovan McNabb. Please don't remind me. But Joe Webb had a good game against the Eagles that one time.
Isn't he still in the league somewhere, Joe Webb? I thought maybe I saw that the other day.
I think our zoners might have to look that up for us because I don't think he is.
No, where's Joe Webb at nowadays?
Right. So I don't think he is. But this one sucks because they've been very good. The Aints have been very good. Even with Drew Brees being hurt, Taysom Hill did a great job against the Atlanta Falcons. He went out there and played his butt off. But I will say that I think you have to be a little concerned because I did watch most of that game for fantasy football purposes and whatnot. But Taysom Hill, and thank God he's playing in the quarterback slot for fantasy football, but now Taysom Hill is his passes were kind of off. They're like, oh man, he had a really nice deep ball to Emmanuel Sanders. Well, Emmanuel Sanders had to come back to the ball
he had to come back 15 yards to catch the football.
So I'm just thinking to myself, I'm like, he caught it. That's great. But still, it just wasn't the best throw, And then people want to compare him to Steve Young. Stop doing that. God,
BYU legend to another.
Right. But I have seen some good things with Taysom Hill, and again, he's mobile. He's very good in the run game. He can run people over, as we saw last year in that playoff game against the Vikings. He was getting some mad yards. He was going beast mode. But it pains me because then Breeze will come back, and the Aints defense was all over Matt Ryan. Yeah, they had 7-8 sacks or something like that. Cam Jordan just feasted on Matt Ryan, and again, they've been very good, so they do deserve that spot with the 3, and then absolutely destroying the Buccaneers. I'm sorry, Voldy, but it's true. Sorry, Nick Vandenplas, but they're on fire right now, even with Taysom Hill back there. But we got to see. What would hurt you more this year? Saints win the Super Bowl or Packers win the Super Bowl? Both equally. Both equally, Seymour. I have to put it like that. Both equally. All right, so number 2, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And I've said this multiple times since they've been on this list. Yes, they are undefeated. And yes, they have played great football. Juju Smith-Schuster, Chase Claypool, Deontay Johnson. James Conner's had some pretty good games. Ben Roethlisberger, Big Ben has been great as well. I mean, there's a reason why they're 10-0. And again, they have great coaching. They have great coaching with Mike Tomlin. And I'm a big fan of Mike Tomlin. And ever since he was the Vikings defensive coordinator and whatnot. But Mike Tomlin has done a great job with these guys. And TJ Watt on defense, Casey Hayward, oh my gosh, they are. If I'm Kansas City, I'm kind of thinking, okay, we might have a challenge here. You do have a challenge with the Steelers, I feel like. And you got to come ready to play because I think they can match you with all the wide receivers that they had. Has there ever been a 10-0 team that's gotten less respect than the Steelers?
Probably not.
Probably not.
Tennessee, maybe, when they got that all those years ago.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true as well. What are the Browns? Where are the Browns for Pete's sake? Just kidding. Yeah, careful there. Careful there. I love Kevin Stefanski. Okay, I love Kevin Stefanski.
Hey, they're looking up though.
They're doing well.
7-2 now. 7-3. Look out.
That run game's very good with Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. So hey, that's something to look at. And then number 1, the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, the Chiefs they should be at the top of the rank, even though you have the Steelers, at 10-0 and everything like that. But to be the man, woo! You gotta beat the man, as Ric Flair liked to say back in the day, and still to this day. But there's a lot of days in that. But anyway, it's the Kansas City Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes. They had a big win against the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Las Vegas Raiders have played them pretty hard. And they've been playing. Coach Gruden, he was telling me the other day, man, they're doing pretty good. And you got to give some respect to Derek Carr. He's been playing lights out. And Josh Jacobs and Nelson Aguilar, Mr. Dropsies is actually doing well for, Las Vegas Raiders. Darren Waller, another beast, okay? Can you cross off the Chiefs and just put Patrick Mahomes instead?
Pretty much.
Well, Allaire and, Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce had a big game as well. So, there's more guys out there. But anyway, still, yeah, Patrick Mahomes, he's just, I've never seen someone that's been that good. It's crazy how much talent that guy has. But they're number 1 for a reason. Yes, they lost to the Raiders. And maybe, I don't know, did they do a victory lap after they beat the Raiders again? When the Raiders beat them? I'll have to ask Johnny that, man. Even though he got fined a lot for not wearing masks and things like that. I'll have to ask him about that. But anyway, I'll show the rankings, I should say, right here. Give us your thoughts. If you agree, if you disagree, let us know. Voldy, so to you, what do you think? What do you think there needs to be shuffling around, or you think it's good as it is, or what? What do you think?
There is got to be a lot of shuffling around with this.
Okay.
I think in my mind, there's got to be a good amount of shuffling. 1 and 2, perfect spots. Kansas City, Patrick Mahomes at number 1.
Okay.
Steelers at 2. Number 3 is kind of a flip-flop for me. Do you go with the Aints or do you go with the Packers? 4 spots, probably a good place for Buffalo. My question is, where is Arizona on this list? Arizona should be at least at number 5.
Okay.
I'm taking the Rams off this list.
Okay.
For me, I think Arizona's got the edge over the Los Angeles Rams. Yes, as of late, the Rams have been putting some things together, but unfortunately at the same time, you look at how it's been going for Arizona, really ramping it up as of late. They'd be at least at number 5 in my mind. Tennessee, I think that's a good spot at number 6. Los Angeles, just it's an early season struggle fest for them, and just isn't doing it for me. But where is Arizona? Where is Green Bay on this list? It was probably just an oversight for the fact that, yes, it's Green Bay. We don't want to give them too much more credit. But, I mean, other than that, it looks okay.
They've been on the list. I've put them on the list, and they've been deserving so. But let's remember, they lost against the Vikings. They lost against the Colts this past week, too. I mean, what is this? I mean, where's the identity? The wide receivers have kind of been an issue. And, MVS, Marquez, Valdez-Scantling, I mean, are you going to hold on to the dang ball? That's one thing that we should think about, too. But that's kind of why I have them off the list. The Cardinals, I mean, here's what it came down to. It's the Cardinals. It was the Cardinals, Colts, and Titans, okay? And by the way that the Titans have played and the way that Vrabel has coached them, I look at them as a very good team, and I give them some credit. The Rams have an elite defense and just beat great Buccaneers and Seahawks teams. And that's what it came down to for me, what Seymour has been saying. So I'm just giving you my thought process.
Fair enough.
And things like that. But again, Donald has been a menace, and, they got to Brady, and, I mean, the thing is they were able to gain yards and things like that. I mean, the Bucs were in the game. It's just...
They were.
But again, there's still a lot of season left to be played, so we'll see. This could be changed, and, as Jack O'Keefe's saying right here, yo, fellas, what up, Jack? But anyway, that's kind of what I think. I'll show it up here one more time, and this is what I got. This is who I think are up there. So I got one more thing for you, Voldy. Do you think the Aints deserve to be on this list though? On the rankings?
I think so.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
They're at least top 3. I mean, it's just a question. Do you put them at 3? Do you put them at 4 ahead of Green Bay? I think they have the edge at number 3 because of the defense that's been producing with the absence of Drew Brees. Obviously, the offense is still going to be producing as well with Alvin Kamara, and you get the ball into the hands of all the different receivers that they've got. Just guys that they continue to make household names out of nothing certainly does help.
And then Seymour says, Cardinals have a great offense, but Chandler Jones was their only pass rusher, and he is out for the year. Defense is very suspect for Arizona, and I agree with that. Patrick Peterson, he's getting up there in age too, so you got to think about that as well. But, again, this could be shuffled up any week. We come back to this, and all of a sudden Arizona's up there. All of a sudden Green Bay is up there because, maybe the Vikings are. I won't go that far. Don't do it. Don't you do it. But anyway, Voldy, I think it's time to move on to your favorite segment. My favorite
Finally!
Your favorite segment. My favorite segment. It's called Absurd or Approved.
It's time for everyone's favorite segment, Absurd or Approved.
And again, shout out to the Kerf Doctor for making all these videos, for our segments and whatnot. They look fantastic. And who knows, we might have to revamp some of them to make them look even better. So shouts out to the Kerf Doctor for doing that as well. So Voldy, let's get to ARA. So why don't you rattle them off for us, please?
All right, well, we start in the NBA here this evening, and it's just 3 simple words right there in the lower third. Ricky is back. A little trade night action on draft night, and, well, Garrison Rosas was shooting from the hip, and boy, was he wheeling and dealing in the NBA draft. So much so that it just so happens that a former household Timberwolves name making his way back after being over a decade being drafted in the NBA, Ricky Rubio somehow ended up back with the Minnesota Timberwolves after being gone for about 5-6 years or so. Ricky Rubio is back with the Timberwolves. He's going to be joined alongside first overall pick Anthony Edwards, all-star center Karl Anthony Towns, all-star guard D'Angelo Russell, among a whole other cavalcade of, potential stars that could be for the Timberwolves. Absurd, or, well, maybe not so much absurd or approved. Maybe we could put this out there. Absurd or approved as a two-parter here. Ricky Rubio coming back to the Timberwolves, and what is his role going to be with the Timberwolves this coming season?
Ooh, I like it. Bring on Munson and get in a feud with Matty C on this topic again.
Please.
We can.
Get him on speakerphone right now.
I could call him right now. But, again, I never thought I'd do this. But it's got my stamp of approval. My stamp of approval. Why does it have my stamp of approval? Well, it makes sense because the Wolves have shooters now. D'Lo. Anthony Edwards is not too bad as well. Do it. Stuff it, just say it. We can.
Do it.
Just do it. But, again, Ricky has a talent that a lot of point guards do not have in this league. He is able to make plays happen. He makes players better, which is very nice. And, Jack's saying here approved as well. And, again, I never thought I'd be saying this with Ricky Rubio. But it's got my stamp of approval. And, again, as long as he doesn't shoot as many shots as he shot back with the Wolves and everything like that. I understand Ricky Rubio is a fan favorite, okay? And I believe that Ricky Rubio is going to help out the Wolves, okay? It's got my stamp of approval. And why is he going to help out the Wolves? Because he makes a lot of players better. And it makes sense. When, D'Lo's kind of the scorer type of guy, taking the threes, driving to the basket, things like that. Anthony Edwards, I think they're going to mentor him to be, a really good guard too. So, it's got my stamp of approval because Ricky Rubio, I feel like, is going to make this team better. And one thing I want to bring up, in the bubble, Ricky Rubio, okay, his three-point percentage has actually gotten better. And, he was at, his lowest was with the Wolves. He was at like 29%, 30%, and everything like that. Don't get me even started on that. But, he was averaging 8.8 assists a game. He's very good on defense. I mean, his steals have gone down a little bit with only 1.4 a game. But his three-point percentage has gotten better. His field goal percentage has gotten better, 41% as well. And, again, he's still sort of a young guy as well. I mean, he's not a guy that's just super old and, washed up, because I don't think he is. I still think he's relatively good, but obviously I'm not putting him at the level of, of a Chris Paul or anything like that, Dame Lillard or whatnot. Rubio has more gas in the tank, just in the sense of bribing more fan love. He's worth it. Add his mentorship, it's a no-brainer. I assumed you meant Jack, but oh yeah, there you go, right here, boom. But it's got my stamp of approval. It makes sense. He did really good with the Suns. He made a lot of players better, and when he was with Utah too, Donovan Mitchell was really good. Now he has longer hair now. There you go. So yeah, It's got my stamp of approval, Voldy. What do you think?
You know how the saying I like to throw out a lot is the saying goes, trash begets trash? Well, might as well throw more on top of the dumpster fire that is the Minnesota Timberwolves. But at least it's a nice dumpster fire now. We got a top #1 overall pick on top of it. No, but seriously, here we're looking at the fact I look at this strictly from a leadership standpoint. And if it just so happens that Ricky Rubio can, maybe show some glimpses of what he's done the last few years, I think it's going to benefit the Wolves in more ways than one. If it's going to help Anthony Edwards, and if it's going to help stabilize an offense, an offensive system with, with Ryan Saunders, and also for, if it gets the ball into the hands of Cat, and also for D'Angelo Russell a little bit more, it's going to pay dividends. Let's just see how it all plays out. If anybody's going to be ending up a me guy, I mean, it's going to be interesting. And, of course, Seymour throwing out too, one man's trash is another man's treasure. You can keep that treasure. I don't want Ricky Rubio or basketball for my life. So y'all can keep that. Y'all can keep that trash and call it treasure as you want.
Well, and again, I think he's going to help out this team more than he's actually somewhat hurt it with his shooting. And the thing is he can't be shooting a lot. And I'm not going to say I'm terrified of it, but as long as he can be the facilitator, passing the ball, not saying that he should just if he's not I'm just saying if he's wide open and he misses jump shot or 3-pointer or things you take the shot, but when you're just the thing is I know he's worked on shooting. He's with a shooting coach and everything like that. But stick to his really good traits. We have D'Lo too. So again, I think it all balances out. So I'm fine with Ricky back. That's fine. There you go. Here's another Voldy saying right here. Wait, Minnesota has a basketball team?
Thank you.
There's Ethan.
Thank
with that
you.
One too. So
rest my case.
And then a one-legged Klay Thompson is a better shooter than Rubio.
Dang, Metzler is savage. You didn't have to flex on him that hard, Metz.
Yeesh. Oh, my goodness. Well, at least Metz agrees with me that he's just not a good shooter. Needs to shoot a good amount at the beginning to show the threat and spread the floor. Exactly. So, again, there's positivity in that. I mean... And Jack says, it shocked me, ... Give or take. All right, well, that was, like I said, it's fine that he's back. I think he'll be fine, so we'll see what happens. All right, next one, Voldy.
Well, probably the one game that everybody was looking forward to tomorrow with a little Thanksgiving football action is not going to be happening. It was announced earlier today that the Thanksgiving night game to cap off a day of probably some horrible games between the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers has been moved to Sunday. Kickoff will be at 1:15 p.m. nationally televised on NBC. Now, this decision came after the COVID-19 outbreak among the Ravens did worsen with more players, and also it prompted an angry response from the likes of some Steelers players. The Ravens did add a few more players to the list, some notable as well, a couple offensive linemen, Patrick McCarry, Matt Skura, even defensive end Calais Campbell, who's been hampered with injuries as of late. So the NFL decided to post the game to conduct more testing leading up to the game on Sunday.
Right.
But the Steelers weren't all that happy as well because of the fact, obviously, preparation going into it, and this has been the second time that the Steelers have been affected by the schedule as well, moving their Week 4 game against Tennessee to Week 7, and then just kind of screwing everything up from that point forward. Now, is it absurd or approved the fact that now we have to watch, as NFL football fans, we have to watch Detroit get decimated by Houston and watch complete trash of the NFC East between a team that can't figure it out week to week and one team that doesn't even have a mascot? They are the Fighting Bulls of Washington, Dallas, and Washington, but also you get the likes of Houston at Detroit. Absurd or approved, trash that is the Thanksgiving Thursday football schedule.
Well, I want to bring this up before we get to that. Titans don't have to worry about Derrick Henry getting COVID from the Ravens. He was plenty socially distanced from the Ravens on Sunday.
Just like when they played the Vikings. And then, it seemed like 97% of the Titans had COVID.
Yeah.
It's like, wow, Vikings didn't get any because they weren't even within 10 yards of them.
There you go. Voldy would rather watch basketball tomorrow.
We got a winner. Tyler Knutson for the win.
Good to see Tyler back on here, by the way, too. But, yeah, and then Jack says, absurd. Just flat shenanigans. How could they do this to us on Slaughter of Indigenous Peoples Day? I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm watching hockey reruns over a football game tomorrow. Or maybe there's a James Bond marathon on somewhere. You got options. You got options, Ethan. But I just, it's frustrating that, again, with COVID and everything, you don't want to spread it. We gone over this, at the beginning of the show with the Gophers and whatnot, but it's absurd. And again, you can't never go wrong with a Bond marathon. I might have to, check that out if they have anything going on for it. But anyway, getting back to the point here. I think it's absurd that we have to be sitting there watching a bunch of teams that aren't very good because, for one, Matt Patricia, I feel like should get canned. I think, there hasn't been a lot of progress with that team in Detroit. And with the Texans, they've gotten better. They've gotten better, but we'll have to see. We'll have to see how. Man, people are loving the Bond stuff. I love it. Yo, I have them all on DVD. Watching Goldfinger now. Hey, there you go.
Yes, sir.
There you go. And then again, then you have a team that can't figure out a name till maybe 2022, which is just absurd in general. I mean, the Washington football team, and you can't figure out a name. I mean, Mets. I talked about this with the Mets a couple times too. I mean, it's ridiculous they don't have a name still. And another thing, too, is the Dallas Cowboys, yes, they played well against the Vikings. Maybe all of a sudden they'll start getting better. But it's the NFC least. They have been terrible. And I feel like it's going to be a sloppy game with Washington and Dallas. And I don't know. It's ridiculous. Bring back Caldwell. I agree.
Mike Martz.
Hey, there's another one. There's another one. Mike Martz as well. Who else? And then I thought they picked the name. No, they haven't. They're still looking.
There's been talks.
like Mikey was saying, like he said when Mikey filled in for you, he said, abolish the NFC East.
Please do. Please do.
You can't go wrong with that. The Washington friend zoners, because they never win. Yeah, that's true. But again, Chase Young's a good player, and Alex Smith is back. So again, we'll see what happens. Absurd or approved. Best 3 Bond films: Goldfinger, From Russia with Love, Dr. No. Oh man, that's a tough one. Absurd or approved. I give all stamps approved for all 3 of them because I've seen them and they're good. So
can't go wrong with one of them.
You can't go wrong with one of them. That's the thing. All right, Voldy, what do you think?
Oh, it's just absurd. It's just always absurd that we get to watch Detroit every year. The only promise that we get is that they play against a good team like, I don't know, anybody that isn't, if only thank God Detroit can't play against themselves. Otherwise, it'd just be a massacre overall. You just hope they play somebody good to the fact that's like at least a for sure win for that team that they're playing against. Dallas, maybe a few years ago when they actually had something to work with, but nowadays it's just rough to watch. Really hope that Washington can really put something together, especially, with Dallas being so down. We'll just have to wait and see it again.
Right. And with Seymour saying too, they're called the Washington football team, and they don't even, have a football right. They don't. And that they think that, we can wait 2 years before we find a name. Find a name. It's not hard. It's not that hard. It just baffles my mind with that team. But anyway, yeah, it's absurd. I think we all agree. The zoners agree as well. So, all right, next one. Yep. Voldy.
Well, unfortunately, one of the bright spots in the NFL season, unfortunately, has taken a misstep with Cincinnati Bengals rookie quarterback Joe Burrow suffering multiple ligament issues in his left knee and an injury this past week against the Washington football team. It was reported that after an MRI on Monday that he did suffer a torn ACL and MCL while suffering other structural issues for that injury in his left leg. And, of course, that will put him out for the rest of the year. Surgery also still to come as of late. No tentative plan has come as currently as of right now that I am aware of. Taking about 9 to 12 months after surgery to take place. But, of course, things have happened if we've seen anything with the likes of Alex Smith, which was just a completely freak incident that did happen with his injury as well. Is it absurd or approved that this could quite possibly damage and derail the Cincinnati Bengals if Joe Burrow doesn't come back and be at least a fraction of what he could be as a quarterback?
Well, there's been a lot of players that have come back through ACL injuries. And, especially with, Deshaun Watson, he's been through an ACL. He reached out to Burrow not too long. I got an update before the show and whatnot. Burrow actually had a knee dislocation if you look at the video closely. Yeah.
I'd rather not look at the video.
Yeah, that was hard for me to watch. But again, I think the Bengals will be okay. And I believe that because I think Joe Burrow he's a tough dude. And, playing for LSU, and again, that LSU team last year was pretty damn good. And he has a lot of potential, and he showed it too. I mean, the Bengals, with him at the helm, he did a great job. But we can't ignore how severe that injury is. And again, Teddy almost freaking, blew up. That almost ended his career. Alex Smith, another guy. He's back. But is he going to be the same? Maybe a little bit. Not as much as he would, how he was playing. And again, with ACL injuries, they suck, man. You're out for the season, and it's not a fun surgery to go through from what I understand. So you should do a top sports injuries comeback list. Ooh. And I know I'm thinking of one right now, Tyler, and it's AP. Absolutely insane how he came back and put up, had that MVP season. Bengals' first 3 picks in the NFL draft: O-line, and O-line. So you're taking a quote from the Kerf doctor there, Seymour. The draft: O-line. And that's what the Vikings need to, I should say, as well. And then I'll vote for this too. Hey, there you go, Jack. There you go. And then Jimbo brought up too, Dalvin. Dalvin came back from, ACL. He's the best back in the game. So there's that as well. But I think he'll still be good, but again, coming back from the ACL, it's tough. It's a tough hill to climb. So, Voldy, what do you think?
Yeah, I think he'll be just fine if they can protect him and at least give him a little bit more options to work with as well, especially in the receiving game too. You did have the likes of Joe Mixon, A.J. Green coming back from an injury season as well from last year after hurting his knee too. But yeah, if you can't protect Joe Burrow and be the franchise quarterback, there's not really a whole lot else that can happen, at least on the positive side. So, if they do protect him and are able to work with it, I think they'll be just fine. So I think it's got my stamp of approval. So
yeah, it's got my stamp of approval, and we're talking about all the players that have come back from terrible injuries, like I mentioned, Teddy and Alex Smith and whatnot. And Seymour was saying, Adrian Peterson was doing straight leg raises literally 3 hours after his surgery. He is a different breed. He really is a different breed. He's one heck of a player, too. So
seriously,
just a beast. He is a freak, like Jimbo's saying right here, too. So, all right, next one, Voldy.
Yeah, another surprising move. This one coming in the world of hockey announced as of Monday that the Chicago Blackhawks have hired U.S. women's national team captain Kendall Coyne Schofield as a coach and also made a couple other moves. Megan Hunter, previously general manager, executive assistant to director of hockey administration, amateur scout as well, to the another executive position, while also in their hockey operations department. Mary DeBartolo is now a coordinator of hockey analytics, which she was hired last year as well. But the big name, of course, Kendall Coyne Schofield as well, married to an NFL player, is also Super Bowl champion. Watched a video about that a while ago. It was kind of weird how that kind of worked out. Proving once again that the machines are listening to us no matter where we are. But Kendall Coyne Schofield adds an interesting wrinkle to the Chicago Blackhawks because of the fact she's got a lot of experience. She's played in the professional ranks for a few years with the National Women's Hockey League, also leading Team USA to Olympic gold last go-around as well. Now, sir to approve quite possibly Kendall Coyne Schofield and, of course, the entire hockey operations, player development, scouting as well, being a helpful part in helping get the Chicago Blackhawks out of their recent funk as of late.
Well, I was looking over this. It's got my stamp of approval, first off. I was looking at this story, Vol. It was very interesting to see. And, I want to read a couple things that were posted in this ESPN article. She's got a dual role, and, with the Black. Then she's also serving as a youth hockey growth specialist, continuing to lead, the all-girls youth program, the Golden Coins. I mean, she does it all. And then it seems like she was an intern. She was studying at Northeastern University. She's taken all career paths in hockey. And not only that, she does color commentary for the San Jose Sharks this past season. Okay.
Yeah, she wasn't too half bad. She did some games for NHL on NBC and NBC Sports Network. She's pretty good. She knows her stuff. Well, obviously, she's a great hockey player, so she's got to know her stuff.
Right, and, Ethan's, saying what I've been saying. Approved, bloody well approved. It's a huge move for reasons extending well beyond hockey. Exactly, and it is. And we talked about it with Kim Yang, and she had all the experience. And honestly, there are a lot of women that have that experience as well, that they've really worked their way to getting those kinds of jobs. I mean, look at the NFL. There's women coaches now in the NFL. I mean, this is really, so if you say it's absurd, then you need to get the hell out. And I'm not even kidding. No.
Seriously.
But she has the experience. She knows, it sounds like she knows what she's doing. So, and again, she played for, Team USA. I mean, there's no one better qualified than her, and she deserves it 100%. So, Voldy, what do you think?
I mean, this is just as approved as it gets because of the fact, of course, you had another Olympian to the ranks as well. She's from the Chicago area originally. She adds multi-dimensions, of course, scouting and, of course, adding to this likes of she sees the game in a whole different other way, from on the ice to color commentary in the front office as well. I mean, she wants to be a GM. She's been quoted as saying that too. And this is just a foot in the door, and maybe a few years down the road, and things start playing out well enough, and it'd be nice to see. It's, great to see that obviously more substantial roles are going to well-deserved candidates. They just so happen to also be female, and hopefully a few more years down the road, that won't even be a thing that we won't even have to talk about. It's like, she's a qualified candidate. She knows and has contributed heavily. She's paid her dues, and by golly, she's got this job in hand, and there you go. It's got my stamp of approval.
It's got stamps of approval all around. We love it. And again, her doing color I gotta listen to that. I gotta look up on YouTube some of her color commentary. I'm sure she's fantastic, but I gotta hear it. So anyway, I believe last one, Voldy.
Well, going on the fact that we're talking about the Detroit Lions a little bit earlier and how awful it's been to watch them in the last half century when it comes to Thanksgiving football, how about we talk about this? A little bit of legal battles between a former Detroit Lion and also a beer company. A Detroit brewery has crafted a beer, created one, same old lager that seemed to poke fun at the Detroit Lions. Now, it was reported by the Detroit Free Press that Monday that the Eastern Eastern Market Brewing Company has stopped making and selling a beer known as the Same Old Lager that has an image of Hall of Fame running back Barry Sanders, who is an 8-bit form. So it's not fully his image, but we all well know, if you've seen the photo of it, it is him. And even Barry and his legal team have threatened to sue and shut down the production of the beer. Now, the can is 4.5% alcohol beer content, had a football field as well. Now, Sanders did apologize to any fans that were duped by thinking that he was involved with the beer, insisting that he had no affiliation with it whatsoever. And of course, talking about all the rough years that they have gone along with the Detroit Lions. Same Old Lager, absurd or approved, this beer company poking fun at the Detroit Lions.
It's the thing is it is kind of funny, but what happened to ever asking anybody for permission to use, a photo? Like, if they knew what was gonna, maybe if they brought it to Barry Sanders and said, "Hey, look, we're thinking of doing this, type of beer, and whatnot," and but we're kind of poking fun at the Lions, with the 0-16, type of deal. And a wise man once told me, he's at K-Fan right now. You know how they learn how to count in Detroit? 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, and so on and so forth. But it's absurd, because you got to ask the guy first, instead of like, oh, guess what? We're going to post the picture, 0-16, blah, blah, blah. I mean, here's my question. Was the beer even good? I mean, that's my question. I mean, was it good? Was it tasteful? Because
I'd like to try it.
I'd like to try it. I would like to try
Absolutely.
it too. Maybe the zoners, would you like to try it? I mean, I don't want to catch the 0-16 deal there, but again, we'll have to see. There you go. Hey, Killer never got paid for using him as the MLB silhouette logo. That I didn't know that.
Neither did Jerry West for the NBA, even though he insists it's not him, but we all know it's Jerry West.
It's beer. It's good. Well, I've had some bad beers, Tyler.
Oh, yeah.
I've had some.
Been some bad ones.
Yeah, there's been some bad ones. But, again, anything involving Detroit, again, we're poking fun at Detroit. But, if you got to ask permission before you put something like that out. And now you get, lawyers involved and everything like that. So, it's interesting to me. The beer couldn't have been good. The team it was based on isn't exactly, Jack. That's how I think of it. Approved. The Lions are responsible for their own performance. If they don't want to deal with editorial content, then don't run a football team. There you go. That's a good point, too.
Exactly.
Ethan. That's a good point,
one thing
too.
that probably would have made it a lot better, especially, remember the 0-16 season?
Yeah.
They always have the pictures of the guys with the
bags.
paper bag on their heads.
Yeah.
That's what they should have done. Because it's not like Barry Sanders is a mean guy. He doesn't want to do this. It just so happens to be, unfortunate that he has to be the scapegoat in all this. Because it's not like they're going to put up, Scott Mitchell or somebody, or Joey Harrington on the can. Who's the most recognizable Detroit Lion out there? It's Barry Sanders. It's not like they're going to put Chris Spielman on there. Those are the three guys I thought of, and two of them are quarterbacks for Detroit. And then you've got Barry Sanders. Name me 5 other substantial players. Yes, Calvin Johnson, obviously.
Megatron.
That's the other guy too. But name me, 3 other Detroit Lions out there that have done anything remotely to get recognized, except for the fact of being like the top overall pick after a horrible season. Of course, Matthew Stafford too. You throw all the guys that have been here in the recent years, but all-time Detroit Lions, of course, it's got my stamp of approval. I think it's hilarious. I would certainly like to try it. The description for the beer is, this classic American lager is exactly what you'd expect. Light, crisp, and always leaves you wanting more. Just keep telling yourself the next beer will be the beer, as opposed to next year will be the year as well.
It's not.
I mean, it's got my stamp of approval. I think it's hilarious.
I mean, it is. I mean, the thing is that it is funny, and I said before, but I don't know if you mentioned this, but it'd be really funny is having the picture of Orlovsky running out of the end zone.
That's
Jared Allen chasing him.
That's fantastic. That's the only thing he'll ever be remembered for. And now he's just ridiculing all these other quarterbacks like Dan Orlovsky.
Literally what Metz is putting right here. Literally what I thought. I immediately thought of that. Benny Ricardo, LOL, longtime kicker. There you go. Oh my God, Carlos Rogers. Remember him too? Oh my gosh,
Carlos Rogers, Seymour, Titus Young, Boise State University. Absolutely.
Javid Best for the Lions too.
Yes, Javid Best, old turf toe himself.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's true. I remember. Oh my gosh.
Lions back in the day. I think Slingin' Slammy Baugh played for them back in the day too, a long time ago. The forward pass was just a thing.
Yeah, there's just a list. Yeah. There's a list of all these Lions and whatnot.
And all that, just real bad.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think that should do it for ARA, right, Voldy?
Absolutely.
All right. So we got to move on to, the Shield has got some people to shout out, and I believe it's called.
And it's time for Shield Shoutouts. Ka-shing, ka-shing.
That's the old intro for Shield Shoutouts, but we have it here from the Sports Zone because we love it. We love Shield Shoutouts. Fantastic. So, Sue stepping on Diedrich Smith, another one. And stepping on Rogers and whatnot. Ugh, crazy. But anyway, let's get to some Shield Shoutouts. Come on. There we go.
Shield Shoutouts.
All right, Voldy, it's time for some Shield shout-outs. You got a long list, so why don't you get it rolling? Let's do it.
All right, absolutely. We'll get right into it. Shield shout-outs. First off, just want to wish everybody a happy, safe, and healthy Thanksgiving. If you're going to be lucky enough to, spend time with friends, family, and all that, please be safe. Please stay healthy as well. And if you're not, be sure to stay in contact with your loved ones. Video call. Get them on the phone, more than just a text. Be sure to reach out to your loved ones. Let them know that you love them and you miss them as well, especially with everything going on with COVID-19. Just have a great holiday and enjoy the time that you have with your family. I do want to say a big Shield shout-out to the Aiken Gobbler football team as they finish the season 10-1 on this past Friday with a 56-6 win over Virginia in the Section 7 3A semifinals. Did miss out on the unfortunate opportunity to play in a section title game with COVID kind of shutting down everything and Governor Walz as well. That's a whole other, can of worms that we won't get into tonight. Also finishing number 10 in Class 3A as well with the announcement by the Associated Press earlier today as well. So big shout out to the Aiken Gobbler football team on a great season. Got to give a Shield shout out to Ravens wide receiver Des Bryant. Caught his first NFL pass in almost years, and he didn't play too bad for the Ravens this past Sunday. Of course, did play against Tennessee Titans as well. First catch since New Year's Eve of 2017 that Des Bryant caught a pass, so Shield shout-out to Des Bryant for that. Also got to give a Shield shout-out to Vikings running back Dalvin Cook, reaching the 1,000 rushing yard mark once again, second consecutive season, but came at the hands of a 31-28 loss against the Dallas Cowboys as well. We won't talk about that anymore as well. Another Shield shout-out. This one goes out to Paul Becks County Market in Aiken, especially with their meat department. It's a little known fact, at least for myself, and now I've told creative consultant and creative content director, Mrs. Sarah Ann Tuesvold, that every year my first plate for Thanksgiving, got to have a turkey leg. That's just a rule that I have. Don't try to make a big deal out of it. For at least the last decade, I've been doing that. And, well, we're in a little bit of a situation. Didn't think I was going to be able to get a turkey leg. Luckily enough, Paul Becks County Market sells 3 packs of turkey legs. Swipe my package of turkey legs. We're good to go. And that is going to be a great, great start to the holiday right then and there. We got to give, unfortunately, a happy retirement and a Shield shout-out to former Boston Bruins defenseman Johnny Boychuk, most recently playing last season with the New York Islanders. Did suffer an eye injury last season, which has unfortunately forced him into retirement. was a key member of the 2011 Stanley Cup champion Boston Bruins, and also a key member of the team that did go to the finals with the Bruins back in 2013 as well. So happy retirement and, happy recovery as well to Johnny Boychuk, former NHL defenseman. And unfortunately today as well, we did learn the news that we did lose a legend, not only in the world of soccer, but in the world of sport as well. Legendary soccer player and manager Diego Maradona did pass away at the age of 60 years old, as he was in his time, one of the biggest stars in soccer. Of course, played in 4 World Cups, winning in 1986 as well. Of course, the legendary The Hand of God goal that did eventually lead to Argentina winning the World Cup in 1986. A sad way to finish off Shield Shoutouts this week, but rest in peace to Diego Maradona. That will do it for Shield Shoutouts this week.
Great job, Shield, as always. And again, there's a lot of great Shield shoutouts as always. And but anyway, yeah, I think that's gonna do it for MInneZona Sports Live. But we got a couple things to get to. Jimbo brought it up just before you got going here, Voldy. Maddie, flags are 30% off. Time to order yours. I already did. And here's the thing. I ordered it back in September. And I don't know. I don't know where the hell it is. I have no clue where it is. And I've been asking the guys at Flag Nation. I have gotten no response from those guys. I mean, look at the Shield Shoutouts flag. I mean, it looks fantastic. I need a MInneZona flag, for goodness sake. Back here, there's perfect space for it. Back here.
I'm realistic right there.
Yeah, and then you have the State of Hockey thing right behind my left shoulder here. And I mean, I need something like that, for goodness sake. But again, maybe it's at my house. Maybe it is. I don't know. Maybe if you want to send it to me, I'll give you my address. We can get her done. But again, yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up. I have it ordered. I don't know where the hell it is. I'm just going to keep bugging them until they tell me what the deal is. So, oh boy, I ordered 2 and got them. What the hell? God, what is wrong with these guys? They just don't want to answer. I'm talking to them on Instagram and seeing what the deal is, because I paid money for that. Yeah,
that's what you got to do.
I did, and I went to their email, I went to their support, and everything like that. But anyway, it doesn't matter. We'll get it. It's coming.
Just a bunch of Brads and Chads running the whole operation over there, dude.
Yeah, you should order one. I did. That's the thing.
We're working on it.
You're working on it. They hate you, Matt. Apparently they do. I didn't do anything to them. That's the issue. I didn't do anything to them. All right. Anyway, rant aside, but we'll get it. It's going to happen. So, Q&A Thursdays. Make sure Volt shipping is much better. Got my hoodie so fast. Exactly. It is better. And the thing is, Flag Nation should talk to Jimbo and, have them funnel all the, flags and everything. But, again, we'll get it. Are you sure? I don't know. I don't know if I'm sure or not, Stuffage. But Q&A Thursdays, go to the Instas. Check us out. We'll answer questions for you. We'll get it all set up. It's Thanksgiving tomorrow, but again, if you have some time, sure. And we understand. If not, you want to spend time with family and everything like that, you go right ahead. But we have it if you want to talk with us. And if you don't, well, we understand. All right, moving on. We have shirts, too. If someone hasn't gotten a shirt yet, you should get a shirt, because they're only $20. They're $5 shipping. They're fantastic. I'm wearing it under my MInneZona sweatshirt right now, and they're very comfortable. 5 out of 5 stars. Mikey said he'd give it 6 out of 5 stars, by the way. Yeah, one of you is family. There you go, yeah. But you got to check out. You got to check out the shirts. If you don't have it yet, $20, $5 shipping. Talk to me, talk to Voldy, talk to the Kerf Doctor, or talk to Jimbo. He'll get you set up. Venmo, PayPal, the whole kit and caboodle, as Voldy likes to say. Moving on to the next thing, W2 Peformance. Will Rattel, he's just throwing podcasts out left and right. He is doing a fantastic job. And make sure you check him out. Listen to his podcast. I listened to the last one. It's great. He does a great job. And the Barbell Nerds podcast. Make sure you check that out on Spotify and all of the podcast platforms, as we like to say. And then make sure you check out Jack's Junkyard. Jack, We're shouting you out. We appreciate you shouting us out as well. Make sure you check out
sir.
Jack's Junkyard. He's doing a great job with this show. And having a lot of interviews with musicians and everything like that. So stamp of approval for Jack doing that. But anyway, Voldy, great show as always. And
You too, sir.
I think we'll be back next week. I'm glad we were able to do it the day before Thanksgiving. I think it was a great show. Everyone was pretty hyped and had a good time. Thanks again, fellas. Of course, Jack, we got you. No problem. But anyway, again, like Voldy said, have a great and safe Thanksgiving too. We want to get this COVID down, man. We can do this. We can do this. We just got to stay positive. Got to stay positive. So anyway, have a safe Thanksgiving. And, as always, folks, keep in the zone.
Holla.
Thank you for watching MInneZona Sports Live. Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. for live show broadcast. And as Voldy likes to say, follow us on all the socials medias.